Have you ever felt that there is something inside you, unlike anyone else? A strange intuition that you see things no one else sees, that you can sense something in the air, even before it happens. Maybe you've tried to explain it away with psychology, with science, with logic, but nothing has ever been enough to answer. Why do I know things no one ever taught me? Why do I hear a voice in the wind or dream of a strange woman over and over again? If you're a Sagittarius, if you're watching this video, this is not a coincidence, because that woman lives within you, and now she has awakened. She's not a ghost. She's not a demon. She is a witch, your ancestor, once burned, once buried, once labeled insane. But in truth, she carried a gift, and that gift has been sleeping in your blood for generations. And do you know what's strange? You are not the only one who feels this. Many Sagittarians are entering a phase of awakening. You may find yourself changing your habits, feeling emotions you can't explain, witnessing strange things around you that no one else believes. But you are not crazy. You are not confused. You are being awakened. And this is the moment to remember. You are the descendant of a woman whose story was never told. And today, that story is coming back to life through you. If these words give you chills or make you recall something vague from your childhood, leave a comment below. I know she is awakening within me, because sometimes a video is not just words. It is a calling sent by your ancestors. But how can you be sure it's not just imagination? And if that witch truly existed, what signs has she left in your body that you've never noticed? Not everyone believes that the life we live today was once written in blood, in tears, on the invisible parchment of our ancestors. But if you're a Sagittarius, you may have sensed this since the moment you were a child, standing in front of the mirror, looking into your own eyes, and not recognizing who was looking back. There was a witch who once lived, not in fairy tales, not in the world's curses, but in your blood. She didn't wear a pointed hat or ride a broom. She was a woman with a gaze that pierced time, silenced because she saw the truth ahead of her era. And long ago, she was burned, not by fire, but by forgetting. There are secrets that were never written down. They are locked in a flame-shaped birthmark on your wrist, in the dream that repeats of a windy old room, in the unnamed fear when you walk past a certain corner of your house and always feel an unseen gaze watching you. You once thought you were imagining it. You said, maybe I'm just sensitive. But deep inside, you know, it's not imagination. It's an ancient memory, revived by the beating of your own heart. A woman in Vermont once shared that she often saw a hand tied up in her sleep. She had never been abused, never lived in fear. But when she returned to her paternal village, she discovered, 5 generations ago, her ancestor was a healer, condemned by her town for using strange herbs to cure the possessed. She was not wicked. She simply carried knowledge ahead of her time, and the price was a silent death. And now her descendant is also trapped in a vague feeling that has no name. Sagittarius is the symbol of one who seeks to reclaim sacred knowledge. You were not born to drift. You were born to resurrect a language that was once erased from history. And that language is not found in books. It lives in your cells, in the way you tremble when you hear the wind, in the way you cry when no one has done anything wrong, in the way you stare into fire and see a story that was never told. You may have heard this before, but today, let your heart be the one that listens. You are not the first in your family to carry this gift. You are simply the first to dare touch it without fear. So if you've never quite felt aligned with your parents, if you were once cast aside for your sensitivity, if you were called weird, too emotional, or hard to understand, know this, that is the evidence. You are carrying a story that was sealed away, and your soul is the key to unlock that door. Sometimes you don't need to learn magic, you just need to remember. And to live truthfully is a ritual that frees all the women who never had the chance to speak. But once she, that witch, truly awakens, you will no longer be who you were. The signs will appear, no longer vague, but so clear you won't be able to hide. So will you dare to face it? Awakening doesn't begin with thunder in the night. It begins with the smallest of things. A nameless feeling when you touch an old object. A sudden shiver when someone calls your name, though you're alone. A long dream about a room you've never walked into in waking life. And then, everything begins to change. You'll find yourself turning away from shallow conversations. You'll feel restless in crowds, even though you once loved to be around people. You'll no longer feel satisfied with the things that once made you happy. Not because you've grown difficult, but because you're waking up. Someone once wrote, "I'm changing, and I can't explain it to anyone." If that resonates with you, you are not crazy. You're simply leaving behind an old reality to return to a version of yourself that was never meant to be blurred. One day, you may step outside and look at sunlight as if seeing it for the first time. You'll hear a familiar song, but its lyrics will speak directly to your heart. You'll hold a book or a small object, and tears will fall without a clear reason. That's when the witch inside you begins to whisper. Makes no sound? You don't need to believe in magic to know you are living something miraculous. You just need to pause long enough to feel that you are being called. A calling that makes no sound, but makes your heart vibrate like a string long buried in dust. Have you ever gone silent because no one understood you? Have you ever felt that something greater is waiting for you, but you didn't know what it was? Have you ever stepped into a strange place and felt as if you had lived there before? If your answer is yes to any of these, then you're not alone, and you no longer need to hide. I believe that within each of us, there is a part of the soul that has never been truly named, a part that waits for you to grow just enough to come back and find it. An awakening is not about becoming someone new. It is about returning to live honestly as who you already are. You don't need a miracle to feel special. You just need the courage to live truthfully in a world that keeps telling you to be like everyone else. And that is the most powerful act of an awakened soul. Have you ever noticed that the moment you begin to understand things, some people start to drift away from you? Don't be afraid of that, because when light begins to shine through you, what no longer belongs to you will fall away on its own. If you feel something is shifting within you, if you sense that you no longer belong to the place you once called home, leave a comment below. I am ready to remember and live as who I was born to be. Because sometimes a simple affirmation like that is the very first ritual on the return journey of an ancient soul. But what will happen if you don't listen? If you keep ignoring the signals from your soul? The witch inside you will not stay silent forever. And if you don't choose to awaken yourself, then life will awaken you instead. Have you ever wondered why your most beautiful dreams always arrive late? They haven't disappeared. They are still there, still alive in your heart, like a patient bird beating its wings outside the window of your soul, day after day. But the strange thing is, no matter how much you've done, no matter how early you rise, how deeply you pray, how patiently you persist, the thing you long for still hasn't arrived. It's not because you're wrong, it's not because you're not enough, it's because something ancient is still holding you back from within. Something that does not belong to you, but lives inside you as if it were part of your flesh. Maybe it was a phrase planted in you as a child. Don't dream too big. People like us can't have that. Maybe it was the look in your mother's eyes when you spoke your first dream and weren't believed. Or maybe it's something that never had words, but every time you're about to move forward, it whispers, "Stop. Don't go too far." No one sees it. No one understands what you're battling, because you are carrying an invisible knot, an energy that has been sealed for generations. There are souls like yours, born to heal what others cannot. Not because you must bear the burden, but because you are the only one strong enough to no longer need to run. Imagine inside you is a room, sealed in layers of time and dust. And in that room, a wooden box holds your dream, not destroyed, just kept, waiting for the day you are ready to take the key. And do you know what? That key has never been outside of you. It has always been hidden in one thing. courage. The courage to go back, to face it, and say to yourself, I allow what has been forgotten to return. I allow my dream to breathe. A woman I once met said she didn't understand why every time an opportunity arrived, everything would fall apart at the last minute. An ideal job, a peaceful relationship, all vanished as if an invisible hand had swept them from her grasp. Until one night she dreamed of a woman in a gray dress, standing in the rain, silent, with one finger over her lips. Silence. And she understood. Her ancestor had once been forced into silence, had once loved, been betrayed, believed, then burned alive, not because of guilt, but because she dared to speak what others did not want to hear. Generations later, that voice was still being held back through the women in her bloodline. You see, sometimes a dream is not rejected. It simply can't take flight because there is still a wind that hasn't been released inside you, a word that hasn't been spoken, a fear that has never been named. And you are not the one who is bound. You are the one who carries the key. And each night, an unseen hand still holds you back, just before the door to your destiny. But today, you are holding the key. If these words are making your heart tighten, if you feel like you are touching something ancient, something faint but real, write this below. I am unbinding my dream and the dreams of those who were forbidden to dream. Because what you are about to do will not only change your life, it will liberate an entire stream of energy that has been waiting for healing through generations. And then, what happens when the witch inside you is finally released from her prison? Are you ready for that gift? Or are you still afraid of what will come when true light begins to rise? And then, a moment will come that can no longer be delayed. A moment when, even if you don't fully understand, even if you are still confused, even if you have no idea where you are going, you'll still know. It is time to open the door. No one needs to approve it. No one needs to grant you permission. All that's needed is you and your heart present in that space. A ritual that needs no witness, just a white candle, a small mirror, and a whisper that comes straight from your soul. Sit down, turn off all the lights, and let only your own light illuminate the room. Take the mirror, place it in front of you, and when you are ready, say this: I allow the energy of my soul to return, to serve light, not fear. I am the living continuation of a bloodline that never surrendered, and today, that light moves through me. Don't just speak the words. Let them pass through your chest, your throat, and your wrist. Because it is at the wrist, according to ancient legends, that the women who held the power wore a mark of their magic. That place is now where you gently touch, as if unlocking a gate sealed long ago. Breathe deeply. And as you exhale, imagine a thin smoke rising from your chest, carrying away everything old that no longer belongs to you. Pain, fear, silence, all of it, leaving you like the ashes of an ancient fire finally set free. You don't need to call her back, because she never left. She was simply waiting for you to call your own name with honesty. She doesn't need you to learn spells. She doesn't need you to build an altar, draw sigils, or read old books. She only needs you to live truthfully. Because magic does not live in action, it lives in presence. And when you are present with yourself, truthfully, gently, without judgment, you are doing what those before you could not. You are the daughter of the woman whose story was never told. And so you were born to tell that story through the life you are living now. Maybe no one will understand you at first. Maybe some will walk away or even laugh at you. But please remember this: a candle only shines when there is darkness, and the light inside you is exactly the awakening this world needs. If today you performed this ritual, even if only through a small whisper, write below: I am living for those who never got the chance to live. Because when you dare to live, not only does your life transform, but a long line of forgotten souls find peace too. But do you know why you are the only one in your family who feels this? Why all the strange things seem to happen to you, and not them? The answer is waiting behind you. A truth no one has ever spoken aloud. And then, when that ritual is complete, everything within you will no longer be the same. Not because you've done something grand, but because you said yes to your own soul. And when you do that, the universe begins to move. The truth you've just reclaimed no longer fits where you used to belong. And that fracture is the sign that the old chains are finally falling away. The person who once stood beside you might walk away. Those who once admired you might start to fear you. And though that might ache, it is also the sign that you are shedding your old skin. Someone with a name that begins with M will reappear. A person who once hurt you or vanished without explanation. But this return is not to reconnect. It is for you to look the past in the eye and no longer tremble. Sometimes the greatest gifts come in the strangest forms. An email from someone you never expected, a job interview invitation that seems completely unrelated, a career decision triggered by a random message in the middle of the night. No one can explain it. But you know, it's not a coincidence. Because when you return your energy to yourself, life begins to return what was once taken from you. And on a very quiet night, when you're washing your hands, folding a blanket, or just gazing out the window, a childhood memory will rise. So vivid, so real. You will remember your grandmother's eyes, the smell of the old kitchen, the feeling of touching the first notebook you ever wrote your dreams in. And you will cry, not out of sadness, but because your soul has just reconnected with its true root. You know, Sagittarius is not just the one who looks forward. You are the one who shoots arrows through time. And this time you are not aiming toward the future. You are aiming back into the past to heal what no one has ever dared to touch. You don't need to change the world. You just need to change the way you see yourself. And when you forgive the woman within you who was once burned, when you whisper, "I understand now," you too are set free. Close your eyes and speak slowly, truthfully. I am not afraid of the past. I am not afraid of the dark. I was born to carry light through the bloodline I come from. This sentence needs no audience, because it is the darkness itself that is listening to you. And for the first time, it steps back, bowing, making space for you to rise in the light of your awakening. We're not just one person. If you feel these words awakening something in you, leave a comment below. I am the light of those who were once burned. Because you are not just one person. You are an entire lineage of souls stepping out of silence. And if you think the story ends here, perhaps you don't know yet. There is still something waiting for you. Something that even the ancient witch never dared to touch. Are you ready? Thank you for staying until the end of this journey. Even though your heart may have tightened many times, even though a part of you may have wanted to stop midway, you chose to keep listening. And that is no small thing, because once a truth has been spoken aloud, it can never be forgotten. If today, a memory awakened within you, if a tear fell for no clear reason, if you feel like you've just met a lost part of your soul, then please know this. It is real, and you are coming home. Leave a comment below. If this means something to you, share this video with someone you love. Perhaps they too are holding an ancient soul waiting to be set free. And leave a comment below. I step out of the darkness, carrying the light of many generations. Because sometimes a single line of words can be a ritual that opens an entirely new doorway. We will meet again in another story where you will no longer walk alone. Because the light you've just lit will become the path for many other souls to follow. See you again, when your soul is ready to tell the next part of the story that only you can write. Because the light you lit today is the beginning